year, I was the editor-in-chief of the Bear Press, which I'm so thrilled to see is still in print, and I found a copy of my senior issue. It's a little bit worn and in tatters, but I was the president of the National Honor Society. I was in student government. So I am one of the owners, and I'm the editor of the Washington Blade, which is the nation's first LGBT newspaper, founded in 1969. But we are the only LGBT outlet that's in the White House every day. So we're in the White House press corps. We're in the pool rotation, which means once a month it's my reporter who shadows the president and writes the report for the whole world. So it's a big deal. It's taken us a long time to kind of get to that level. But whenever we hear Sarah Huckabee Sanders talk about an LGBT issue, it's usually my reporter who is in the room and asks the question. So it's very important that we're there, because if we weren't there, our issues would not be addressed. I decided after 9/11 that I would come out at work. And as soon as I did, word got back to my boss very quickly. And my work assignments dried up. I was uninvited from meetings. I was given, poor performance reviews. And finally I was told that I had to check in with the office secretary if I wanted to pee. So I went from this free agent with a multi-million-dollar budget doing all this stuff in New York to suddenly I'm grounded in Laurel at my cube, and I have to tell the secretary when I want to go to the bathroom. So it was textbook retaliation, and I got a lawyer. I did all the things you're supposed to do. I filed complaints with HR, and ultimately they did nothing. From there, I reached out to the Blade. I was consulting, and I had done the website. I launched the website for the Baltimore Sun in 1996. So I knew the web, I knew digital, I knew mobile, data, and so I went in, I met with the publisher, and got me a job as the managing editor, which I was not expecting, and I wasn't looking for. But I thought, this could be an interesting time to get into the LGBT space. We're kind of on the precipice of some, big change, and it's getting me back into journalism, which is my first love, and so I took it. We get to 2008 and 2007, and there's this epic primary battle between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, the likes of which we've never seen before. It went all the way to June, and that never happens. And so it was great for us because we had access, and I interviewed Hillary toward the end of the campaign. And I also interviewed John McCain. Obama would not give us an interview, oddly. And interviewing Hillary is pretty much what you would expect. She's super smart, prepared, and if you watch her in interviews, she has a strategy where she basically knows you have a limited amount of time, and she can talk for 20 minutes about anything. And so you ask her a question, and her strategy is steamroll you and just talk for 20 minutes and run the clock out. So when you interview her, you have to really aggressively cut her off and change the subject and stop her and interrupt her a lot. But the interview with McCain I thought was actually a little more interesting. It remains the only time that a Republican presidential nominee has talked to the gay press. One of the things that he said that really struck me, he's such a modest guy, and he refused to take credit for anything. And he said he gives the credit to all of the ordinary people all over the country who came out over the course of the last 50 years. He said those people who came out in small ways are the ones who paved the way and made all of this progress possible. He said, I could never have just come in here and passed laws if the culture and the society hadn't come along. And the reason they came along was because people found the courage to live authentically and to come out, which I thought was just brilliant, and of course only partly true. I mean, he does deserve a whole lot of credit, especially around marriage. But he refuses to take the credit and gave this really moving response. So if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go. It's on our site or it's on YouTube. Obama's final press conference. We have to decide how we're going to respond. Do we respond with anger and hatred and snarky memes on social media and vitriol, or do we respond with love? And that's the choice we have to make right now. And I know that we will make the right one, and that we will overcome this as well. But in terms of the journalism, I think you're doing the right thing. I think you have to be in the mindset of being a journalist first, because what happens is if you cross that line into activism in your work, in your journalism, then you are pigeonholed, and then it becomes about opinion, and so you lose. I think you lose credibility. So sticking to the facts and trying to focus on that is the best way, because I think it's a slippery slope, and you don't want to sort of devolve into an echo chamber where you're only speaking to the choir.